Take a look at this and see what we could be dealing with. 1.2 inches. It may cycle up and get a little bit larger. And that area with the hail concern will also be moving into the western reaches of Latimer County. And we continue to look for new information in our conversations with the National Weather Service and with our storm spotters out there. In the event that you have information, wait until it's safe to do so and let us know here at Fox 23 with the Fox 23 News Facebook page or photo team at fox23.com. But again, 7:02, so we're a little over an hour away from sundown. There's still some light outside, but southeastern Oklahoma, big concern I have is the flash flooding and how it's going to get worse this evening, and also, of course, approaching darkness. So think ahead. If you're in Stigler or Sallisaw, heavy rains on the way in, you've got evening driving plans, maybe best to wait and see how these heavy storms play out in case the flash flooding may get worse or like it did towards the middle of last night. We'll go back over to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot for the latest.
Again, still tracking the line of showers and some thunder west of Tulsa right now. It's making progress our way as we take a little closer view. It's moving into Bartlesville right now, moving over Lake Keystone. It's just a very skinny band here, but you can see a couple of cloudy ground lightning strikes mixed in here and there with that line of storms. It is not showing any signs that this is going to push up towards severe levels, though, but we will continue to watch it. ETA in Tulsa probably right at 8 o'clock as that moves to the northeast. As we also move back into southeast Oklahoma, we still have a big area of flash flood warnings. New severe thunderstorm warning southern LaFleur County, but our main concentration is on this tornado warned storm now, and that appears to be pushing out of Pushmataha County and into southern Latimer County as we take a much tighter view of this storm. The main circulation looks like it is directly west of Yanish now, still rolling to the northeast. Now the motion on this has been pretty well straight up to the northeast over the last consistently for about the last 2 hours. This is the storm that did produce a couple of tornadoes in Grayson County in North Texas along Highway 75, also in Denton County. So this cell has had a history of producing tornadoes. The main circulation here as it continues to move to the northeast. I'm going to do a 30-minute track because this has been a pretty persistent storm. If it holds together now, it's going to pass just to the west of Yanish and up toward Damon. This is Highway 2 south out of Wilburton, and so the danger area right through central parts of Pushmataha County. And if it again holds together for about 20 more minutes, could affect our friends in the community of Damon. I'm going to zoom in even further right now with this storm. So here is Yanish. We're looking just to the west of Yanish right now at this main circulation, and that's still rotating very strongly in upper levels of the storm. We're 6 miles west of Yanish. Yanish watching this storm very, very closely. Again, there's some little cone of uncertainty exactly where that circulation would be tilted down to the ground, but it certainly is west of Yanish right now. It's also south of Higgins. We can triangulate that into Higgins too, and that still looks like it's about 8 miles to the south of Higgins right now as it continues to move to the northeast. Velocities still look very strong in this storm. The rotation continues. Our severe weather team coverage also continues. Meteorologist Ben Walnick, and you've got more, Ben.
Yeah, we've been doing the storm tracks on this storm to the east and to the northeast, but one thing I'm noticing in the last scan or two of our Fox 23 Doppler radar is we may be seeing this rotation pulling a little bit further to the north. If we go and take this full, and I'll show you, this area of rotation that we're watching is the blues and the reds that you're seeing right here, these brighter colors. I'll go ahead and circle it. This is what we're watching right here. And watch here over the last few scans as this was moving northeast, but almost pulling a little bit to the north now. So into southwestern parts of Latimer County. This could pass west of Highway 2. If this trend continues, I'll switch things over to reflectivity here. Our tornado warning to the northeast, and this is pulling a little bit further into the western half of that tornado warning. So the area of rotation right there on the county line, just in southern parts of Latimer County, and possibly moving a little bit closer to due north rather than northeast with the rotation with that storm. And we are still seeing some hail showing up now in far western parts of Latimer County. Switching things over to our hail algorithm here, and you can see here in southwestern parts of the area, like John just showed a few minutes ago, possibly up to $50, maybe even ping pong size hail. And still a concern with the rotation of the storm. It has been very persistent across several counties and has a history of producing a confirmed tornado. So dangerous storm here. We're going to stay on the air as long as we see this warning. Anytime there's a tornado warning anywhere in Green Country, we will be right here covering it. This is in effect still until 7:15, so at least on the air here for the next 8 minutes or so. But if this rotation continues, it's very likely that this will be extended further into Latimer County, at least the time of it extended, and we'll be right here covering it. Our Fox 23 Severe Weather Team coverage continues. Certified meteorologist James Adelot is tracking the threat.
Okay, again, here's the current track on that storm. Again, southern parts of Latimer County, moving up in the community of Damon. There's another community just south of Damon called Veterans Crossing, right on Highway 2, also in the danger area here. The rotation continues very strong. I want to show you those velocities again. It looks like, at least on the reflectivity returns, as we look at the straight up wind field now with Fox 23 Doppler radar. A little bit noisy in here. We're still looking at about 6,500 feet over the ground. So northern branch of Sardis Lake. I'm going to move right into the high resolution Doppler radar data. This is Sardis Lake right now. This is the county line between Latimer County and Pushmataha County, and this is Yanish. So as we look west of Yanish, about 6 miles, this is the circulation. You can see the bright green pixel and the bright yellow pixel. That's on the red side of this rotation. So we're looking at this storm that could produce another tornado at any time. Now on the reflectivity imagery, it's not quite as strong as it was before, but oftentimes given the configuration that it's in, it rolls through what appears to be a little bit of a weakening there. Now we're actually starting to see that hook echo starting to form again in the reflectivity. I'm going to turn off the warnings just a second and give you a really close-in view of the storm, because what we're seeing is the main rotation is right in here. This is west of Yanish, just by about 6 miles. Again, here's the county line. Here's the community of Yanish, Highway 1 north up to that Highway 2 interchange. Of course, Oklahoma State highways here. So west of Yanish in extreme southern parts of Latimer County. I'm looking at the possible tornado located right in here. So again, in western parts of Latimer County, especially southwest Latimer County, you can see this is definitely some rough terrain in here. You can pick that out on our base map here, just hilly and stark that terrain is right now over the Kiamichis. So this is moving just to the northwest of Yanish, moving up toward Highway 2, eventually toward the community of Damon. But this is the circulation that we're dealing with. And I'm going to zoom out just a bit, just so you can set the stage. Again, this is south of Higgins. Higgins not in the danger area. We'll continue to roll that out. Hartshorn not in the danger area. For now, in Wilburton, we need to watch this storm very closely, but you're not in the polygon of the tornado warning, and you're not in the official storm track. But as we watch this closely, it's going to be very close to Wilburton. But Yanish, just on the extreme east edge of the danger area. I think you're probably okay in Yanish, but you need to watch it very closely. Damon by 728, also that Veterans Crossing area here in southeastern parts or southwestern sections of Latimer County. So we're zoomed right in here. This tornado warning remains in effect until 7:30. I'm going to take one more tight view here and look at some of the velocity data on this storm. As we zoom in, starting to get some of that wrap from that hook echo, starting to see some of that circulation now increasing just a bit. As we take a look at Doppler velocity data, still some pretty strong inbounds here west of Yanish, still some pretty strong outbounds. Again, we're still looking pretty high up in the storm now too, and I'm going to click over to the intensity view, and again, still looks like a pretty tight circulation there just to the west of Yanish. This is in southwestern parts of Latimer County right now. Meteorologist John Boyer is standing by. Our Fox 23 Severe Weather Team coverage continues. We're on the air because of a tornado warning in Latimer County until 7:30. No severe weather threat in Tulsa. We're watching some thunderstorms, ETA 8 o'clock in Tulsa. Those storms are not severe.
Yeah, and I have one new severe thunderstorm warning to share as well. This is for southern LaFleur County, and this is until 7:45, and it's this storm that's moving north out of McCurtain County, and it's moving north at a fairly good speed. We'll call it about 50 miles an hour. So let's do a storm track on that. I'll step out just for 1 second to allow that to work on there. And that is going to be moving towards the Octavia community. Well, that's actually right on your doorstep right now. In fact, Octavia was one of those places that did have a weak tornado on April 27th of last year. But what's moving into your area right now is a severe thunderstorm. It has some gusty winds and may have the capability of producing some half-dollar sized hail. As this lifts north into LaFleur County, some more places will be affected by this. The communities of Muse, Zoe, and Rickert, and eventually towards Poto if it holds together. But Poto proper is not in that warning right now. Our main focus is the tornado warning that's out into western Latimer County. It doesn't include Wilburton, but it's right on your doorstep, just basically on the other side of Blue Mountain off to the south. And this is passed on the western reaches of Sardis Lake. And it is not the part of Pittsburgh County that includes McAllister. We have McAllister right here, you see, and that's the Indian Nation Turnpike. And the part of Pittsburgh County included in that tornado warning, very, very small. So I wouldn't be worried about tornadoes right now if I were watching in McAllister. You just want to get that across. 12 minutes after 7 o'clock, you're watching Fox 23 live severe weather team coverage. We have one tornado warned storm in western Latimer County. We have one severe thunderstorm in southern LaFleur County, and another significant threat, in my opinion, the flash flood warning for Pittsburgh, Latimer, and Haskell counties. And that goes until midnight. The flash flooding threat is going to last long after these storms leave. These storms could also persist for much of the evening, dumping more heavy rain over southeastern Oklahoma. So you have to be ready for that and thinking about that. Flash flooding is a big concern for us tonight in southeastern Oklahoma. But we're also watching a line of storms moving towards Tulsa. That's not severe. That's the good news, but we still want to know about it. So we'll go back over to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot.
Well, again, there's that line of storms getting a little closer to Tulsa. ETA still across the metro area between about 7:45 and 8 o'clock. Our tornado warning coverage continues until at least 7:30. That circulation west of Yanish. Metro area now. What we're looking at is this line of thunderstorms continuing to move toward the northeast. We've seen a couple of cloud to ground lightning strikes. Now, if you can see just over the last few minutes, this actually looks a little bit weaker. Track into Tulsa again between 7:45 and 8 o'clock. Sapulpa, also kind of the south edge of that. Pogue Airport a little bit after 7:30. Our tornado warning and flash flood warnings continue in southeast Oklahoma. And if you look back through even, well, parts of Johnston County, Marshall County, Love County, all the way here south of Ardmore, more thunderstorms are developing and moving northeast. This is saturated ground. These flood warnings will continue. And as John and Ben have tried really to reiterate and reinforce, once we hit nightfall, you will find it very difficult on some of the rural roads and county roads to tell if they are flooded or even washed out. It becomes very, very dangerous driving here. Most flash flood fatalities occur at night in rural areas. So this is going to be something we're going to watch very closely. And also new severe thunderstorm warning in Atoka County. That too will likely lift right up back into southeastern Pittsburgh and Latimer County, and that's going to keep that flood danger continuing. We can actually pick out a much better structure here in reflectivity, really starting to wrap up a little bit northeast of Yanish right now. And as I continue to watch this storm very closely, let's take a look again at some of the velocity data inside that storm, and then we'll zoom into it a little bit more. Because right now you can still see some very bright reds and bright greens, in fact almost over to blue. That's indication that we've got a really strong circulation just to the south of Wilburton. Zooming in right here, very strong outbound, very strong inbound. Could be looking at a developing tornado here south of Highway 1 and to the west, well, it's basically Highway 1 curving through southwestern Latimer County. So just on the southwest side of this, Yanish is located just about right here. Damon just above the scope that we're using to look at the velocity data. And this storm could produce another tornado at any time. It's already produced one report, that was in Pushmataha County, of a tornado that was just about 6:20, so close to an hour ago. But once these thunderstorms produce one tornado, we start worrying about them producing more than that too, as they continue to show some pretty tight circulation right here. So again, Yanish just out of the danger zone. This is going to be located right here. We'll watch this storm moving to the northeast. If it takes a left turn, definitely the alarm raised for more for Wilburton. If it takes a little bit of a right turn, we'll watch it pass just to the north of Yanish. But Highway 2, State Highway 1, as it curves back over toward Hartshorn in eastern Pittsburgh County, that's the danger area. Damon here in 13 minutes at 7:27. Again, the severe storms, or the strong storms moving into Tulsa, they're nowhere near severe levels. We're watching them too, but our attention really focused on this storm. There's the storm track Damon, also just south of Damon, Veterans Crossing right here, very close to where that State Highway 2 icon is on the screen. And our severe weather team coverage continues. Meteorologist Ben Walnick standing by with more. Ben.
And we are in constant communication with the National Weather Service. They just extended that warning. That tornado warning originally was until 7:15. That has been extended now until 7:30. So we'll be on the air at least until 7:30, watching the rotation in the storm. And it does look like the rotation we're seeing with the storm right at the tip of the hook that we see, that classic hook that we talk about, increasing rotation right there at that point where we could see the tornado. So it is very likely very likely that we see a brief touchdown tornado right here, if not a little bit of a longer tornado at this time. Again, moving northeast now at 40 miles per hour. The circulation is 7 miles south of Damon. So at the current speed, 7 miles, that would be right about 9 to 10 minutes from now, tracking towards Damon, right along Oklahoma 2. So this is the circulation is very close to the intersection of Oklahoma 1 and Oklahoma 2. This is the area of concern that we're looking at right in this region right here. And this is tracking to the east-northeast. So Damon would be very close to the path of this in about 10 minutes and continuing to track this threat again. Latimer County, tornado warning until 7:30. We'll be on the air at least for 13 minutes. You're watching Fox 23 News. The time right now is 7:17. We've been tracking this threat. Several tornado warnings on Friday, several tornado warnings this morning, and we continue to track the threat right now with Fox 23 Severe Weather Team coverage. Let's send things over to certified meteorologist John Boyer tracking this tornado warning.
Yeah, I want to take a different, very close-in view to explain what's going on here. I'll set the stage on this map. This is Yanish. This is the northern part of Sardis Lake, and this is the hook that James was referencing. And I've turned on the terrain so you can see the hilliness of the country. And I'll turn off the tornado warning to make it look a little clearer. We've got Highway 2 over here, and it's in really hilly country where this tornado is right now. And if you've been with us for the past 20 minutes, you've noticed, as we've been tracking along with you, that the circulation in the storm has actually gotten stronger, a little more apparent. So as it actually went from a more flat part of the county into a hilly part of the county, that circulation tightened up a little bit. I know there are lots of myths that still continue to exist in many parts of the country that hills can protect towns from tornadoes. I think this makes it very clear right here. The one instance where this storm is not responding to the presence of the hills. It's going to do what it wants to do as it tracks off to the north and to the northeast. So again, I grew up in a place where an hour away, a tornado was able to go up and down a 4,000-foot mountain. So if you're watching in southeastern Oklahoma, these hills aren't protecting you. In fact, they're limiting your ability to see this tornado or a possible tornado coming. And in fact, that's the latest scan that just came down from the radar, which is situated off to the northeast near Fort Smith. So that gives us actually a closer look at this storm. And again, continuing to see a very strong indication that this storm is rotating. It is due south of Wilburton right now. And what I can do is give you a sense of just how far away it is from Wilburton. And that's straight down Highway 2. So let's measure that distance from Wilburton all the way down to the center of that circulation. It doesn't appear to want to be doing that for me right now. But basically, we've got that tornado warning until 7:30 for parts of Latimer County. Also, flash flood threat in that county as well, and possibly some hail up to the size of ping pong balls. Back over to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot.
Well, again, we can watch this potential tornado now getting very close to Highway 2, and you can really pick up on the time lapse here. It's had a very consistent motion to the northeast. It's wobbled a little bit north, maybe a little bit back toward the east, but it's been very consistent, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Very strong velocities indicated right here, and moving to the northeast. Now, if this holds together 30 more minutes, it'll be moving, of course, out of the official tornado warning, but in the general direction of Red Oak. It's very close to Damon right now. We're looking at Damon here probably within the next 10 minutes. So if you're in Damon or Veterans Crossing right there along Highway 2, you need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately. That's just south of Wilburton. Right now, we'll keep Wilburton out of the danger area, but right along Highway 1, Highway 63, and State Highway 2 in extreme southern parts of Latimer County. That's where we're seeing the potential tornado. High-res Doppler radar data. Again, we're looking at Highway 1 and 63 coming south here. This is the circulation that we're looking at. Here is Yanish, so we're looking north of Yanish by about 4 to 5 miles. Very strong inbound winds here, very strong outbound wind here. So this is the potential circulation. I'm going to jump back to our regular radar view here. New severe thunderstorm warning that John has mentioned, southern LaFleur County too. That one will stay east of our area, but our attention really solidly focused on this tornado warning until 7:30. So if you're in southern Latimer County, south of 270 and along Highway 2, you're in the danger area. That means take your tornado precautions right now. If you're in your home, lowest level, center part, smallest room, if you can get a helmet on, that'll be the thing to do. We'll do one more track on this storm. Again, moving to the northeast, may have produced a tornado. We've had some scanner traffic indicating that that's the case. Going to be very close to Damon. Now our severe weather team coverage continues. Ben Walnick with more. Ben.
And talking to the National Weather Service, we're in constant communication with them. The tornado warning going to be extended into northeastern parts of Latimer County. So as soon as that is issued, we'll do a storm track on that warning, tracking into northeastern parts of the area, likely Red Oak in the path of that, perhaps Wilburton, although the threat looks to pass just east of there. Now, another concern that we have is the flash flooding threat that we're seeing across a huge portion of the area. We have a live look up in the McAllister area, and heavy rain starting to fall there again, and more flooding concerns. Highway to 70. We've had reporters out in the field during Fox 23 News at 5 showing you the flooding there. Pictures sent in to us of the roads closed in parts of Pittsburgh County and much of Green Country. So flooding still a big threat for a large portion of the area. Right now we're very focused on the tornado warning threat with possibly a tornado touching down in southern parts of Latimer County. Continuing our Fox 23 severe weather team coverage as the new tornado warning has just been issued. That is in effect here until 8 o'clock. We'll send things over to certified meteorologist John Boyer tracking the threat and possibly seeing some damage at least on radar indicated damage. John.
All right, here we are at 7:22. I thought it'd be a good opportunity, and this may look familiar to you from our spring severe weather special. Again, those goals as far as surviving a tornado: to get inside, or if you're already inside, stay inside unless you're in a mobile home and need to seek a safer shelter. Go to your planned safe area and don't waste time doing that, and do not go outside to drive. In fact, there are a couple good reasons why going outside to drive right now is not a good idea in Latimer County, or now Haskell County, because we have the flash flooding, flash flood warning until midnight, and for all of Green Country, a flash flood watch. That means the potential is there until 7 a.m. Anytime we get a heavy rain moving through this saturated area, we have the flash flooding that takes place almost instantly. We've seen that yesterday. We've seen it today. I have no reason to believe we won't see it again this evening. So flash flooding, very serious situation in southeastern Oklahoma, along with a tornado warning. Now that we're less than an hour away from sunset and we have the new information, let's go ahead and send it back over to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot for an updated storm track as we now look ahead to the rest of Latimer County. Yeah,
the tornado warning extended, as we talked about, through the rest of Latimer County. Fox 23 Doppler radar. The line of showers and storms that has approached Tulsa, you can see starting to fall apart. Still looking at an ETA in Tulsa now, close to 8 o'clock as this continues to move toward the east. Not moving very quickly, but over the next hour, it's going to be moving toward Tulsa between, we'll say 8 and 8:15. Sand Springs, Tulsa, on into Rogers County and toward Claremore. Could see some gusty winds, maybe a little bit of lightning with that, but nothing severe. Attention focused here. Tornado warning continues until 8 o'clock. This is well east of McAllister and the Indian Nation Turnpike. Really solely focused on Haskell and Latimer County. This is the only tornado warning that we have in effect right now. I'm going to zoom into this storm and we'll do an updated storm track, because you can certainly see the motion of this storm back up to the northeast. This could produce another tornado. It may be producing a tornado right now too. I'm going to take this right back in again and we'll do a track on the storm. Just seeing some very light rain in McAllister, nothing significant, but you can see really how that's wound up right in here. That is a very strong indication that we've got a circulation that's very powerful with this thunderstorm. It looks like it's just south of Damon. If it holds together over the next 30 minutes, it's going to be very close to Damon right now. And this has been a consistent track for us. We've been on the air with this storm now for about 45 minutes, tracking it across the southeastern corner of Pittsburgh County, back into Pushmataha County, close to Sardis Lake, and now close to Damon. If that holds together in 30 minutes, it's going to be very close to the Red Oak community too. So looks like still we're looking 16 miles southwest of Red Oak for that main part of the circulation with this storm. Now take a look again at the high resolution Doppler data. We've zoomed really well into southwestern Latimer County right now, and this is that hook we're seeing. You get into the purples north of town, you can see where Highway 1 and 63 and Highway 2 take this wiggle here in Latimer County. This is where the community of Damon is, likely seeing some hail. South of Damon toward the Veteran Crossing community, likely seeing even larger hail with this storm. I'm going to click this over to velocity with the storm, and again, a little bit noisier on the velocity, but we're certainly picking up some very strong outbound winds right here. So this just to the east of the highway right now in western Latimer County, just to the east of State Highway 2, just east of Veterans Colony, I should say, not Veterans Crossing, Veterans Colony, and just southeast of Damon. This is the main circulation right here. So we're watching this very, very closely as it moves to the northeast. The velocity a little bit noisy. Maybe that's a little better picture right now as we tilt up with a radar picture right now. This is looking about 7,000 feet up in the storm. So very strong indications that we've got what could be a tornado occurring with this storm right now in Latimer County. It has moved now east of Highway 2. This is the main danger area. You can certainly see the hook in that. Yeah, and the National Weather Service has upgraded that tornado warning to expect considerable damage with this storm. So I'm going to zoom right back into Latimer County. Again, no severe weather over the rest of eastern Oklahoma. We have a whole slew of flash flood warnings, and that's going to be a whole different danger as we approach nightfall for folks out driving, because flooded roads very difficult to see at night. As we take a much deeper view. We're really diving in here south of Wilburton. This is the potential tornado. It's between Wilburton and Tallahena, the Damon community right here at the wiggle of Highway 2. Right where that Highway 2 icon is. So this is the circulation. We've seen signs at least a couple of times on Fox 23 Doppler radar that we've seen some debris lofted up in this storm too. So we may have a tornado occurring now in Latimer County. Let's check with meteorologist Ben Wanick. Ben?
And we are just hearing from the National Weather Service that they are picking up a possibility of damage showing up on radar with this storm. Again, James just said they've upgraded this to the possibility of considerable damage, very likely a tornado occurring right now. And I do want to reiterate one thing. We had a tornado warning in this exact area earlier this morning. So if you were alerted of a tornado warning earlier this morning, sirens going off, and you're thinking, oh, it's happening again, no big deal. This is an even more serious threat than what we were dealing with around 9:30 to 10 o'clock this morning when we saw this tornado warning. I remember I was on the air with meteorologist Michael Sager. We were talking about areas like Red Oak and Fanshawe, LaFleur in the path of this storm. Well, that's happening again, and this is very, very close to this area. So if you are thinking, oh, well, I've already heard the sirens today and nothing happened, this is more of a serious threat. Potentially a tornado on the ground right now. You need to be taking your tornado precautions right now from Red Oak and just to the west. And with the latest update of the rotation that we're seeing a little bit further to the northeast, a little bit closer to Red Oak. In fact, the rotation that we're seeing on radar from Red Oak only about 9 to 10 miles away now. So definitely taking your tornado precautions in the Red Oak area. Our Fox 23 Severe Weather Team coverage continues. We've got several people here. Certified meteorologist John Boyer. Let's send things over, though, to Chief Meteorologist James Adelot.
Again, we're looking right now zoomed right into southern Latimer County. Here's Wilburton, and this is the potential tornado that we're looking at. It's now passed east of Damon and east of Veterans Colony. That's moving up in the general direction of Red Oak. If you are in Red Oak right now, you need to take your tornado precautions. This is just 10 miles southwest of Red Oak. We can measure that out for you. Here's the community of Red Oak. This is on 270 in extreme eastern parts of Latimer County, and we're dealing with 10 miles to the southwest of Red Oak, and it is moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. This storm has a history of producing tornadoes. We've seen some damage indications, or at least debris indications on Fox 23 Doppler radar of lofted debris in the storm. And if it's lofting debris at that height, now we've got a new TVS indicated by Doppler radar. So this thing is getting stronger, not weaker. It's still a very powerful storm right now. And again, may produce, again, there's that one, we're looking just off screen at a couple of high resolution Doppler radar indications. But this is giving us a very close view right now in southern parts of Latimer County, east of Highway 2. This is 270 from Wilburton over toward Red Oak, which is right where this dot is, and then into LaFleur County toward Fanshawe. Here's the community of LaFleur, Tallahena out of the danger area. Yanish now out of the danger area. Damon, Wilburton not in the danger area. We're talking right through central Latimer County, 10 miles southwest of Red Oak now. That's the zone where we could be seeing a tornado produced from this storm at any time. As we take a look back again at some of the high resolution Doppler radar data, and I'm looking just south of 270, and it actually looks like this potential tornado might be lifting back to the north as it moves up a little bit closer toward that